Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, sir.
Rally for Rivers was essentially an awareness program to change the policy of how we relate and treat our rivers in the country. So this movement went through 16 states. The chief ministers of all the states across political spectrum participated in the movement. And then it went to we presented this to the Prime Minister. Within 2.5 months, Niti Aayog, after having put it through the scientific and the economic tests, sent it out as official recommendation for all the 29 states. About 4 states are going proactive in implementing this policy, rest are in various stages of debate and discussion. As a part of this, we also launched an action, on-ground action program in the Yavatmal region,
right,
which is unfortunately known as the suicide capital of this country.
Yep.
For the Wagadi River, which is a 54-kilometer stretch, we are on ground implementing this.
Wow.
But now Kaveri Calling is a project which is in partnership with the farmers, with the government and with the larger civil society. What this project is about is, say, right now, Kaveri has depleted over 40% in the last 50 years' time. In the last 50 years, we have removed 87% of the tree cover in the Kaveri basin. Kaveri basin accounts for approximately 83 to 85,000 square kilometers with about
Yes.
120 streams and rivers which feed Kaveri as tributaries. Now, the biggest misunderstanding that people have is that people think river is a source of water, a well is a source of water, or a lake or a pond is a source of water. These are not sources of water.
Absolutely.
These are destinations to which water has come. 96% of the water in this country is monsoon water.
I heard this, Sadhguruji, first from you, but not just Kaveri. Let me also tell our viewers that News 18 had done a special story on the Gangotri Glacier. It's gone back 19 kilometers. The Gangotri Glacier, source of the river Ganga, has gone back 19 kilometers over the last 3.5, 4 decades. So it's a serious issue. Where is this? Why is the water not being replenished there? So we are looking at climate change. They all seem to be interlinked. Our use of plastic, reuse of plastic. I'm going to request all those who have a bottle of water today, the plastic bottle, think if you can use it again and see if we can reduce our plastic print too. We have to get conscious at every level. But Sadhguruji, you were the first person from whom I heard this. ज्ञानवर्धन, जब भी मैं आपसे बात करता हूँ, लोगों से बात करता हूँ, पानी पर तो होता है। मिनिस्टर साहब ने मुझे बताया कि 4000 BCM पानी गिरता है, but we save less than 300 BCM of water. You just said 96% of our water comes from the skies above. How can we make Jal Raksha a Jan Andolan? I'm going to come back to that again and again. How is it that each individual person, is it possible for us to contribute to that? Or do we have to leave it to the powers that be? That is the government of the day. जो करेगा सरकार करेगी.
Let the idea of Jal Raksha not mean exploiting everything. There is other life. This land, this water, this world is not just for human beings, there is also other life. So water has to flow. If you ask me, the ideal way is if 50% of the river water if we use, other 50% must go into the ocean. But with the present population pressure, if that is not possible, at least 25 to 30% of the water must go into the ocean. Why is this so? There is an ecosystem around the subcontinent. We have 7,400 kilometers of coastline. If this river water does not go in substantial quantities into the ocean, because of the nature of our substrata, the marine water will start coming in to the land.
Wow.
Looking at the rock structure, it can come up to 100 to 130 kilometers inland. If this comes, which is already happening in Tamil Nadu, 50 to 60 kilometers already inland, marine water has come, no agriculture is possible. Wells which had sweet water just 15 to 20 years ago are all salt water right now. In Gujarat, every year they're losing some 500 square kilometers of land to marine water coming in. Water, that is, the substrata will be filled with salt water, you cannot use it for anything. So it's extremely important that substantial amount of river water flows into the ocean. Do not think of more exploitation, think of revitalization. See how to implement revitalization of land and water. Don't just think about how to exploit more, because you are not the
Wow.
only life who lives on this planet.
Wow, Sadhguruji, please stay on with us. Before I go back to Yogi-ji, Amitji, you've been listening to all of them. The magnitude of it, even for me, is just sinking in, the task that we have as a people, as a country.
Yeah, I think it becomes all the more important to listen to these very noble and worthy words and start thinking more seriously, start sharing this information where we work, in the environment that we move around in, talk to our children, tell them what is going to happen in the years to come, and slowly inculcate in them some kind of a culture which goes along with the thinking of these very noble people. It is a massive problem. It's like, a disaster that has already started to happen. And if we don't control it and watch it, what he's talking about, the landmass erosion, is so evident. I can talk from personal experience, We used to go to shoot our films in Goa. We used to stay in this hotel at the Fort Aguada, and there was a lovely beach, and we used to, go and spend our spare time there. And a couple of years back, I just happened to go back there. There's no beach left. It's come right up to the hotel. And slowly all this erosion is taking place. And it's very disheartening to see all this thing happening. So somewhere all of us have to start making and doing things to preserve the water systems.
True. Sorry, I'm throwing some more numbers, but here is some more. 6%, only 6% of the total water in our country, water consumption in our country, is done by urban India or households, urban households. Another 5% by the industries. 89% is rural India, largely agriculture and the related activities to agriculture. And that's where the focus of the government so far has been, because this Jal Shakti Abhiyan talks about replenishing our traditional water conservation sources. If we go back to what our civilizations used to do in the past, it was all around conserving water, trying to hold back and store water, because water is life. I ask you this, the Panchatantra tales, let's go back to our traditions. Panchatantra's tales, simplified complex lessons in life. क्योंकि लास्ट में हम कहते थे मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी ये है, तो जीवन को जीने का तरीका जो है ये किस्से हमें बताते थे. अब आप मुझे बताइए कि ये जो जल आंदोलन है, जल रक्षा की ये जो मुहिम है, ये बिहेवियरल चेंज की हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसको हम सिंप्लीफाई कैसे कर सकते हैं? हाउ कैन वी टेक दिस मैसेज टू द पर्सन ऑन ग्राउंड एंड एक्सप्लेन टू देम वेरी सिंपली व्हाई दे नीड टू बिकम अ जल रक्षक?
Nearly 100% of our water source is monsoon. Monsoon and monsoon only. Only 4% is glacial water. Everything else is coming down from the skies. The water that comes down on this land must percolate this way, down, into our aquifers, into various other ways. It must go into the land. Right now it is running on the surface. It is running on the surface mainly because there is not enough vegetation. Only vegetation will make it go deeper inside. So if this has to happen, we must put India's land at least 1/3 under shade. Whatever kind of trees, whatever kind of vegetation you grow, but it must be under shade. Only then it'll be organically rich and the roots will make sure the water percolates down. For this to happen right now, we have called for this Kaveri calling. Kaveri calling, the idea of Kaveri calling is a demonstrable model, a demonstratable model that will be a sample for everybody else. This is not only for India, this is a game changer for the whole tropical world if we successfully implement it. Farmers are willing, the two state governments want to give subsidy to help the farmers to shift.
True.
So these two things are in place. The
Right.
third thing is the larger society, you and me,
Yes.
especially the urban population. I'm just saying, even a beggar in Mumbai can plant one tree a month,
Yes.
42 rupees.
Yes.
I think a beggar in Mumbai is rich enough to do that. If a beggar can plant one tree, how much should you do? This should be the question mark in your head. This is not about me, this is not about a media house, this
Yes.
is not about the government, this is generational work. We as a generation Are we a responsible generation or are we an irresponsible generation? This will be proved by how we act in the next few years, because the India's soil
Yes.
for a long time, even today many farmers, before they step on their land, they bow down to the soil. But what
Yes.
have we done to this soil? The most fertile soil on the planet that you could find, unfortunately desertification is happening. Out of 160 million hectares of arable land, we have made 105 million into distressed soil. Distressed soil means there is not enough organic content. I'm repeating this again. The only and only way you can put back organic content into the soil is by the leaves of the trees and the animal waste.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sadhguruji. Big round of applause for all our guests who have joined us via link. They've taken some time out to speak to us. वो कहते हैं ना कि हम देश की मिट्टी को माथे से लगाते हैं, अब आगे जाकर वो रेत हो गई तो गलती किसकी? That is what Sadhguruji is saying. Your thoughts, sir?
Absolutely right. The rainwater washes away the layer of the earth and therefore is not conducive to store water. A lot of people think that trees take away the water. There are many trees that actually soak in water, but they also grip the earth and prevent the soil from getting destroyed, which is so essential for all of us. And I think that these are some of the things that all of us must be doing to grow more trees.
People think river is a source of water. Fundamentally, it's ignorance. There is only one source of water for us, which is the monsoon rain. The rain that comes down, which normally happens to us in this country, somewhere between 45 to 60 days maximum in a year, a huge volume of water comes down. When this comes down, our ability to hold it in the soil will determine how many days in a year will the rivers flow.
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ರಕ್ತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ತಗೊಂಡವರಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಿರಿ.
In a tropical country, it is not a source of water, it is only a destination for water. If we hold it, then it flows 365 days. If we do not hold it, it will run away within the next 50 or 100 days, and that's why it's going dry. On an average, all rivers in India are depleting approximately 8% every year. In 16 years, most rivers will be gone. 8% drop. Almost 7 months in a year, Kaveri doesn't reach the ocean, it dries up. Right here somewhere. So what allows us to hold the water? The only and only thing is vegetation. There is no rocket science to this. This has been by a main mission across the world, including United Nations, our government, central government, all the states. We convince them, you cannot hold water in a dam, check dam, barrage, all these things. These are all okay for usage, but you cannot really enhance water like this. The only way you can hold it is by vegetation.
വനം കിഴിത്തോ കാൽകൾ നില്ല നദി ജീവനദി.
When I say vegetation or let's say forest, The possibility of increasing the forest cover is impossible in India. We are 1.3 billion people. It's estimated by 2030 we will be 1.5 billion people. So there is too much pressure on the land, there is no way to increase the forest cover. The only other way is to go for agroforestry, that we use forests as a livelihood for ourselves. We grow forests for wealth, we grow forests for economic reasons.
எதிர்காலத்தின் கண்ணாவை மடியிலே ஏந்திக் கொண்டு ஜீவநதி.
We as a country need to focus on this issue right now, very urgently. People killing each other for water.
Yeah.
You don't want to reach that situation. It's very scary.
Yeah.
So they have a program where they are collecting funds to build saplings, and then they will plant those saplings as trees along the river bank. And that will help the soil to percolate and collect more water.
Correct.
When it rains.
Yeah.
Right now the water evaporates because there's nothing, and that's why the river dries up.
Yeah.
So this is very nicely done, and I feel all of us should contribute. It's hardly, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I feel we need to do this for our own country.
Yeah.
மனது உடைந்து போகிறதே ஜீவநதி.
I was in UK for 2 months and I didn't know that there was a water problem, and I came home 3-4 days ago, and my sister told me don't use the shower, use the bucket of water.
Tamil Nadu and its capital city are struggling to meet the water demand of its citizens.
Bengaluru, once called the city of lakes, is expected to become the next city to run dry.
The Indian farmer, they say, is born in debt, lives in debt and dies in debt.
The rivers in India are in a serious condition. Almost 7 months in a year, Kaveri doesn't reach the ocean, it dries up. Today it is 46% less than what it was 40 years ago. Your children, or maybe their children, will not know what is Kaveri. The biggest concern is not even water, the biggest concern is soil. India has 160 million hectares of arable land. Of this, 104 million hectares of arable land is under distress, soil distress. This means this country is going to have serious problems about growing food in the next 15 to 25 years. There is not enough organic content, means you can't hold water. 96% of our rivers flow only with rainwater. If you have vegetation, our ability to hold the rainwater is enhanced.
For the last 30 years, we have been using the remote sensing satellites to look at Earth. Why, on our land, we are not able to keep that water? There is a close connection between the trees and the ability to keep our water for our use.
The land is very fast becoming sand. So with more and more tree covers, more humus will go into the soil and increase the organic content in the soil.
Increasing the forest cover is out of question with the kind of population pressure we have. So the only way is to transit them into agroforestry. We have converted literally over 69,670 farmers in Tamil Nadu. Their incomes have gone up 5 to 10 times in a matter of 8 to 10 years.
Making the farmers to switch over to horticultural crops or tree crops, which will allow rainwater to go down into the subsoil system, will actually make fresh water available to the people.
It could revitalize the entire farm level economy and reduce significantly the kind of economic distress that today's the majority of agricultural households are facing.
Right now in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, we are launching what's called as Kaveri Calling. We want to convert 1/3 of the Kaveri basin into agroforestry. We are looking at planting 242 crore trees. This is not that we are going to plant everything, the farmers will do it in their land. All that government needs to do is give an incentive. So to see that this is facilitated in the initial stages at least, we are in the process of creating large tracts of land to raise saplings. So we are asking the public, crowdsourcing the fund, 42 rupees is one sapling. So this needs to be facilitated. If you do this, the 46% depletion that's happened in the river waters will come back. River will flow once again, farmers will be rich and well-to-do. We have a board of people, responsible board. This entire Kaveri Calling Fund is going to be managed by an internationally reputed auditing firm under the aegis of this board. And we are also bringing in few more people from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to be a part of this management. This project is called Kaveri Calling because she's been calling. Can you hear is the question? Kaveri is calling.